Okay.
All right. Let me put up my Twitch. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mechanics Institute. I'm Abel Talamantes, chess director of the Mechanics Institute, and with me is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. We're going to be doing the commentary for the final two rounds of the Tuesday Night Marathon Online. This is the first Tuesday Night Marathon Online that we've had at the Mechanics Institute. We've had the Tuesday Night Marathon, the free tournaments we've had, which are really exciting, which we've streamed every Tuesday since we went into pandemic. But this one's different. This one is like the true TNM in that the pairings are done manually according to U.S. chess standard rating. And what's important in that is that you sort of get the pairings that are more aligned with what you would see at a standard over-the-board tournament. It also means that we are able to do the pairings in advance. So we've been, just like the Tuesday Night Marathon, we release pairings Monday at noon. So I'm certain the top two boards prepared against each other for tonight's match. And
yeah, this is incredible lineup here.
And in the top section tonight, we're going to see on board one Eric Lee playing white against Kyron Griffith, which should be a fantastic battle.
Kyron's the only perfect score, 4-0.
Yeah, he's the only 4-0, and that came by virtue of Eric Lee and Elliott drawing their game because they were the other perfect scores from last week. And then, which leads to board two, Rui Yang Yan as white is playing Elliott Winslow. So that should be another fantastic matchup.
International master Elliott Winslow.
I am Elliott Winslow. And then we have a lot of great matches of players with 3 points. On board three, Kaylin Melville is playing Pranav Sairam. 4, Shashwath Sivakumar against Ashik Uzaman, which is a really great match. And then board 5, Simona Neiberg against Christian Clemens.
Yes, so these are going to be fun games.
Yeah,
they're
going to be a lot of fun games to watch. And then there's some great club games on board 8. I'm seeing Jonah Bush against Stuart Katz. That should be really good. There was another one that I thought would be interesting to watch. Caesar Tamandong is playing Lauren Goodkind.
Oh, yes, Caesar. I haven't heard from him in a while.
He did well. He upset Michael Walder last week.
And Michael Walter is playing. I thought he had withdrawn, but he's back in.
Yeah, he's in. Now, he did win that game because Walder hung the queen, from what I saw. So, but let's not take anything away. Caesar won the game, so he's playing. So great matchups. And then in the under 1600 section, the top board there will be Pranav, Pradeep, and Daniel Perlov. Playing it out, both with 3 points, and then Ramachita, who's
one of my students,
one of your students in both classes now, the Endgame Lab and
I'm
the Wednesday.
Glad to see that he's doing well.
Playing Leora Ginsburg, and she's tough. She's at 2 points, but she's a 1500 player, so a lot of action matchups today, and we're going to get to the action. It should be starting any minute. Actually,
I gotta say, what's up with Erica Malikan? She's been having a tough tournament, huh?
Yeah, she's been having a tough time. I do believe she tends to multitask as she's playing.
Okay.
So
cooking dinner. What is she doing? Computer stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. Not given the full attention.
Right.
So I'm kind of hoping.
Maybe she should join us for the commentary one evening.
Yeah, I mean, she got a match, so she was scheduled to have the bye, but we had a player that couldn't make it. John McCumsky, actually, tournament director John McCumsky. He had something come up, so Erica's going to jump into that pairing with Kritin Gopalakrishnan.
Okay.
So she does have a game.
So we should have the round is started, huh?
Yeah, let me take a look and find. Some of the games have started. Let me see if I can pull up the games, and then we'll go from there.
So what else has been going on at the Mechanics Institute in this last week?
In the last week, I mean, oh gosh, we've had a fantastic team match on Saturday. The Mechanics Institute team playing in the Chess.com Clubs League. I thought we were going to be in for a really tough match against a club team from Argentina. So I really rallied the players to try to get, our A team in representing. And we did. We had Grandmaster Christian Carilla, James Tarjan, Kyron, Eric, Rui, Elliot, all our top players. And we just put a beat down on
15-1?
19-1.
19-1. Oh my gosh.
And actually we were 19-0, and the last game was Michael Walder. And he was winning that game. And
oh my god.
And then it just kind of, it just went another way. And he ran out of time because I think he was he was trying to calculate when he actually had just seconds left. So that's the story there. And but I mean 19-1, we'll take it. We're definitely not upset over that at all. And so
it's the final 2 rounds.
Final 2 rounds. So let me put it on the top board game right there.
Yeah, let's take a look.
In the background there. Final 2 rounds. Round 6 will be around 8 p.m.
This is already a classic matchup here.
In terms of the game itself or the matchup?
In terms of these guys, I don't know how many times they've played already, but...
Oh, yeah. They've had some battles at the Tuesday Night Marathon where they're playing for first place overall, right?
Right, as well, yeah.
And so, it's a lot of fun. I'm hoping, we enjoy the chess action tonight, the conclusion of the marathon. At the end of the tournament, we'll update the prizes because I believe they're going to be a little bit higher than advertised because we had more players.
Nice.
More paid entries than expected. And before we get deep into the action, let me just plug, and I'll be doing it more during the show, next week. The next Tuesday Night Marathon is not going to start next week. It's going to start the week after that.
Okay.
It'll be August the 4th. But next week, we're going to do sort of like a... Mechanics Players Appreciation Tournament. We're going to do a Tuesday night. We haven't decided. We're going to do it 7 rounds. I think it was 7 rounds we decided. We're going to do a blitz. It's free.
Oh, great.
Free. It's going to be USCF online rated, but completely free, open to anyone. And we're going to just do whoever registers for the tournament. We're going to do a random drawing, and we're just going to pick 3 names, and we'll just give free entries to the next Tuesday Night Marathon. We may do some other, giveaways and prizes. Just thank you to all the players for, supporting and playing at the Mechanics Institute.
Very cool.
Free tournament next Tuesday, Player Appreciation Tournament. And we'll get more info as it comes, and we'll talk more about it during the broadcast.
Awesome.
So, all right. So what do we see here? It looks like Kyron is infiltrating.
Yeah, Kyron's... we've got some King's Indian here with C5, D5, and Knight A5, a same-ish sort of setup there for white with Knight E2, G3, very common. But black is, instead of playing E6 and taking on D5, has made this queen excursion, trying to pick up the pawn at C4, or else playing maybe Knight B3 and Knight D4. So my audio is not too good, apparently.
Yeah, I guess you're going to have to talk louder or...
Let's see. I'm not sure why.
Or I think maybe you were kind of reclined, so you're now you're closer to the mic.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I'll stay here.
Or they're saying you're muffled, so...
Still bad. Should I try not using the earphones?
Yeah, try that.
Okay.
Well, that could be it, because it might have been...
Hello, everybody. How do I sound now?
Omega Mania.
Yeah. Give us some feedback.
The same.
That's interesting. I wonder why. Could it be on Omega Mania's side that the problem is?
If anyone's following, just type in the chat whether it's you're experiencing the same thing.
Possibly too loud. Let me turn down my speaker. All right.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay. How about that?
Stair Mistress is saying we sound fine. So
Okay.
let's see if it works now, because you made some adjustments. So
Yeah, I did. I lowered my the volume.
Unless Stair Mistress is saying that I normally sound normal and you don't. Which it could be the case.
That's funny.
Let me pull up Rui's game.
Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting position. Not sure exactly what's going on. So here we have one of those modern sort of Nahdorfs where white just plays knight d5, and usually black should be fine in these kinds of positions.
So what kind of Sicilian? Isn't there a variation of the Sicilian that's sort of called the flamingo?
The flamingo?
Yeah.
The pelican, maybe you're thinking of.
Might be the pelican, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that also can involve white playing knight d5 in these positions. So the question is, where does black's play come from? Often it's by playing pawn f5, but the bishop and the knight are standing in the way of that. Let's see.
And
black might want to play a5 in this position and sort of block up the queen side. Then maybe comes c5 and then e4. I don't know. If I'm black, I want to play a5 and b6 maybe.
Judith's reporting that there were 2 no-shows. And the no-shows can happen that you're actually on, but you're not in live chess. And the thing is that if you're not in the live chess mode, we can't pair you. So even though you think you're on, you're actually not on. So that's what apparently happened. But thankfully, not on the top boards here.
Well, one of the extra games is a player named Kerr the Barbarian. Great name.
Should win with that name, right?
Yeah, better. Yeah. Okay, so Elliot does play this a5 idea, with the idea being to play b6 and just sort of stop white dead in his tracks over there. In his tracks. Yeah, I think white maybe should have thrown in a5 in that game.
I was pulling up a game and I switched it to this game, but it just happens to be interesting. So this is Barbara Goodkind against Kevin Sun.
White's got a nice, attacking sort of setup here. I might be having a slow.
And I think Paul's frozen, so hopefully he comes back. Kevin Sun is going to be a player to watch pretty soon because he's been improving quite a bit.
I got stuck off the.
Yeah, I think we're.
I got disconnected.
Yeah, I think we're back. I think we're good.
Okay, I have to rewind.
Oh, refresh. Yeah, refresh that.
Were you disconnected as well?
I saw you frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just saying that Kevin Sun, he's been playing a lot of tournaments at Mechanics, and he's going to be a player to watch because he attends a lot of the classes we do. We know he loves chess to death, and takes it really seriously. But yeah, he's been improving rapidly, and the kid just loves the game, and the parents are super supportive. So I mean, he's going to be one to watch, I think, over the next few years. Someone that really climbs and has a lot of potential.
Gavin.
Let me flip over to...
his game is a little passive here. I'll say that.
Yeah, especially with that H5. Things are happening. Here we got Kalen Melville's white against Pranav Siram. This is the current board 3 in the tournament.
Okay. Well, this is, some kind of... I'm not sure of the opening. Maybe it was a Tarrasch or semi-Tarrasch or something like that. And it's a game.
Hey, check out this game. I'm going to flip over. This is Simona Neiberg, Roboro 13 as white against Christian Clemens. And give me your take on this one here.
Oh, wow.
Seems like Simona's
a nice little pawn
for
sacrifice. Pawn e6. I like it. If f takes e6, queen d7, and white can also play knight e5 at some point. So that's a high class move. Pawn to e6. I like it.
And this is sort of unusual for Christian to be in a position where he's kind of might be in a little bit of trouble this early in the game, because his games are usually pretty technical.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the opening.
It was a Petrov. Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay, Petrov.
It was a Petrov. Yeah, Black played a Petrov.
Right. Well, Petrov might not always be a safe opening. Okay, let's see. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
D4. Okay. Okay. D takes E5. That's usually white plays bishop D3. So.
Okay.
Oh, it's an aggressive way to play here for white.
Let me.
It's playing fast, so this might even be some kind of prepared line.
Yeah, Simona must have prepared, because she has not used that much time at all.
Right.
So
still, she's used 4 minutes. So
check this game with Kyron and Eric Lee. Eric Lee is white here.
Oh yeah, board 1.
Board 1.
Board 1. Okay, so black did manage to snatch off the c4 pawn, and white would dearly love to be able to find some tactic here, but where is it?
And
if the knight moves, then black can bail out by taking on d2 check. So I'm not sure exactly what white has.
I mean, it's sort of white's goal here to break through the middle and castle.
I mean, white's lost a pawn, and black's strategy of this strategy of infiltrating on the queen side and so on is working perfectly. To me, it looks like black can play queen takes d2 check and be in an endgame a pawn ahead, or at least the queens are off, and black will have the 2 bishops. Queen takes a4 is met by pawn to b3, so it looks like just queen d2 check, and black is much better there.
Now the knight on a5 is a little stuck. Will that play into anything here?
Well, that's even another beautiful part of this. After you exchange on d2, everything gets taken off. You can play knight b3 check and knight d4.
Yeah.
Black has all kinds of stuff going for him in this game. This opening is not gone well for white at all. It's already in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did what you were suggesting, just did it the other way. Let's peek into board 2, which is Rui as white against international master Elliot Winslow.
Oh, yeah. How many times have these two played now? And what's the score, I wonder, between them?
Actually, that's a good question.
In fact, these top 4 players have played each other a bunch of times, and it'd be interesting to organize a little round robin or something.
Like a true Mechanics Club championship.
Yeah, or something. So this looks like it's gone well for black. The queen side got blockaded, and black can put a piece on e5 to, stop the taking on d6. And there's some holes. There's some holes in the both players' positions here, so it's still complicated. But I think that black should be quite happy with the way this opening has gone.
And let's take a peek at the top board in the under 1600, and that is Pranav Pradeep is white against Daniel Perlov. Daniel Perlov, who is not only a frequent player at Mechanics, he's been one of our biggest fans, following the Tuesday Night Marathon online while his dad's playing.
Yeah. Well, and does Daniel watch the chat sometimes while he's playing?
I think he has. Yeah, and I should focus on his game because
I'll let him focus on his game and not say.
Well, I mean, it's going to be up to him to focus on the game, right? I mean,
that's true.
He should have the discipline to.
Well, I don't want to point out any good moves or anything, but
let me go.
Let's just say this is a game.
This is a game. Let's go.
It's a game.
Fantastic analysis. Let's go to Ramachita and Leora Ginsburg. This is sort of the board 2 in the under 1600 section. And Leora Ginsburg, she's a Scholastic player. She's very young. I actually played her in an X-rated game at Mechanics. She's very tough. I mean, she played me really tough when I played her about 6 months ago. And she's been moving up, so she's someone that will make waves pretty soon. I think USCF is 1500. So, and then here she is.
Well, black has a lot of, black. I mean, black has a lot of dynamic play, and maybe white should have taken on d4 with the pawn, because now white's going to lose castling ability here. This has not gone well. Yeah, for white. I think black has some serious attacking chances here, as well as being able to regain the pawn right away with bishop d4 and queen b5 check. So I think that would be, although white could play knight c4, that's not going to work.
And let me take the opportunity now to thank our amazing chief tournament director, Dr. Judith Stare, who paired everyone up, keeps meticulous tabs on all the pairings and spreadsheets and all of that. And she's just a workhorse extraordinaire, and none of this would be possible without her. So thank you, Judith, for everything you do.
Definitely. Hi, Judith. Welcome back to California. White could have avoided all this mess by just taking on d4 with the pawn, I think. And now white's king is in the center and under attack. It's possible actually that black could have played maybe rook e8 and prevented white from castling, but this is dangerous.
Let's check in on top board, Eric Lee and Kyron Griffith.
Yeah.
It looks like Kyron's up 2 pawns now.
Hi, Judith.
Lose the... Yeah, she doesn't like when I call her she likes it when anyone calls her doctor.
So, yeah, just
trying to give you the respect.
Can you back up 2 moves?
Sure.
Back up 2 moves here.
So here's about where we started. Actually, here. So we have the knight takes.
Okay, so Kyron could exchange on d2 and be a pawn up, but he's like, why not take another pawn?
Right.
Takes on a4. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. And plays queen a4. And now what does white play? Yeah. So Kyron's playing quite aggressively here.
So Judith's in the chat trying to get the people that are watching. Where are you watching from? So
Right.
if you have the courage to jump in the chat and just name your location, Mechanics Institute is curious.
This has gone. I mean, to my view, Chiron is winning this position. He's all up 2 pawns, and now he can play knight takes e2 and be up the 2 bishop pair. There's a knight pair. This has been a disaster for Eric Lee.
And what do you think caused this? Because we know that Eric Lee prepares meticulously for.
Well, this opening has Chiron out prepared him.
This on the same-ish King's
I think
Indian.
this Queen B6, Queen B4 idea was probably home cooked by Chiron, and Eric Lee acted like he'd never seen it before, and just quickly lost 2 pawns.
Well, the thing with Eric, I mean, we know that Eric prepares, like almost no one other in his games, but Chiron would be the person that prepares in the same manner. So
this is just black. Black is winning. So
all right,
let's see how it's doing.
Let's see.
It's still a game. The queens are on the board, but I think this should be a technical win for black without too much problem.
So we're back here with Rui, Gij 2018, and Elliot Winslow.
This game is a lot more complicated.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, you would think that black would have a good game here. Rook f4. There is the pawn at d6, which Elliot needs to be thinking about a lot here. If black could exchange the bishop on g6 for the knight at b5, then things would be looking, that knight versus bishop endgame would be quite rosy for black. But that's still a ways away.
Let's peek on this game.
Black has the e file here. So that's very important.
We have this game between, which is a little surprising to me, Shashwath Sivakumar as white playing Ashik Uzaman. And Ashik looks like he's up a couple of pawns. Or maybe 1 pawn when it's all said and done here. But. Yeah. Well, there's some,
this is a queen and rook. The black king is exposed. And that's an issue here for black.
Despite the advantage.
Yeah, king g2.
Actually, this is...
white takes on f4.
Wow, this is dangerous, actually, huh?
This is very dangerous for black. And so...
Looks like black has to play something like g5, no?
Well, g5 is... actually, that did occur to me.
Yeah, but actually that won't matter. G5.
Queen d5 though forks the rook at a8 and the pawn at g5.
Yeah.
I don't see an answer to that. An easy answer. So,
wow. Let me move on to this game.
Yeah, this is tough. This is a tough little position here.
Here is Rama Cheetah against Leora Ginsburg again.
That was not going well for Rama, I thought.
And this is the position now.
So black is giving up a
pawn. A pawn here.
Black, it looks like he's lost a piece or is losing a piece.
So what do you think of that move? Because that was played.
Okay, let's look at it. All right, if queen e3, rook e8, that's clear. But if f takes e3, I suppose queen takes queen g3.
There's also rook takes b2.
Yeah, that's right. Black is giving away. I mean, black was bound to break through in some way. This is very nice, I think. Rook b2 is going to be a strong attack here coming up. But white's king has these knights huddled around it, so maybe there's a way out. And
this is a pretty creative move by Leora to sacrifice.
Oh, absolutely. The knight's hanging on d5. Let's sacrifice it to break open the white position. It's a move brimming with confidence and
And that's the thing in this position, is that she's playing a move that looks good for many reasons, but clearly you're not calculating to the end. You're going on instinct.
No, you're just saying I'm going to get a strong attack after pawn takes knight, queen takes g3, and then rook takes b2 or something like along those lines.
Let's go back to board 1 and check this out.
Okay. Eric Lee needs to pull something out of the hat in this game.
And look at his king.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious as to Kyron is just.
It just looked like really, just things have just gone wrong.
Yeah, I like this h5, h4. It's just Black's playing on all sides of the board. He's playing on the queen side and the center, and then now the king side to loosen up the white position. He can take the 2 bishops anytime he wants. It's just he's schooling white here so far.
All right, let's take a peek back at Rui and Elliot.
Okay.
This will be a very technical game for sure.
Still waiting for the transition.
Oh, you might want to refresh because
you've been there for a while.
Oh, for a little bit, yeah.
All right, I guess I will because I'm. Here we are.
And knight f6 was just played.
Right.
By Elliot.
So white would like to probably exchange that queen on c5 and then go after those queenside weaknesses or something. I mean, Black is now repositioning the knight to wants to reposition it to e4. Elliot's full of ideas lately, I've noticed. His play is fresh and exciting, and
it's not just in one event. I mean, it's over several events. I mean, in the newsletter that just came out, I released it yesterday. Went over his game from the club's league game from last week. That was just incredibly creative, I thought. And he sacrificed exchange.
He's just a renaissance going on with this guy. Inspiring.
And players, if you're watching and you have a good story from the People's Tournament, I'm doing a 3-part series on the People's Tournament. I released part 1. And just for me to say it, I mean, my purpose in writing it is not to make the definitive history of the People's Tournament, because I can't do that. And I'm sure that a lot of other people that are far better than me be able to do it. But I want to bring it to the forefront for a lot of these young players, because one of the things I feel lately is that the People's Tournament, not that it's lost its flair, but, I think it's lacking what kind of the essence of what it was. And, and I think we got to, bring that back to Berkeley and have it there. And I think that the more people understand what the tournament was and what that experience was, and especially a lot of our younger players to learn about that, I think then they become advocates for keeping the People's Tournament alive. And so that was my motivation writing the story. It's not to be the one that, authoritatively brings what the People's was, but I think a lot of these top kids, I don't think they have an experience of what the People's Tournament was when you played it, when Nick DeFermian played it, when Yasser Serouan played it, Elliot played it. It's a whole different thing. So they should be aware of it and have that education of the chess history regarding it. And that was kind of the motivation of me writing it. So if you have a good story, let me know about it. And I want to thank Kerry Lawless, who I've talked to a little bit, and John Donaldson is giving me info on the Peoples. I'll be reaching out to other people this week for the part 2. But
I'll send you a game or two. I'll annotate a game or two if I can.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, we had a couple of games from Old People's Tournaments in the newsletter. I'll have some games from Nick in the next one. Love to have one of your games in there too.
I'll see if I can. I already have annotated a couple in past newsletters.
I can find a ton of them on Chess Dryad because they're there. But if you got a favorite, let me know. All right. Let's get back to board one to see if Eric's able to climb out of this hole he's found himself in. Hello, Chess Queen. Chess Queen is back. Chess Queen 2007.
Yeah, hi, Chess Queen. Again, Black is just forcing the play here. F5, another move opening the game up for the two bishops here. It's just, it's looking good for Black. And Karin's playing with confidence, and something's going to give here in the white position, and unless White can come up with a cheapo.
And we don't see this hardly at all, where Eric's on the defensive so much like this in his games.
Well, he's down 2 pawns with a bad position as well. It's just.
Let's take a quick look at that game between Leora Ginsburg and Rama. So Leora had sacrificed, and this And this is where we're at now.
Okay, White's holding on to the extra piece, and Black has 2 pawns for it, and can Black come through with a move like Rook C3, and it's White's move. Okay, the pawn at G2 is attacked. This is an issue, a direct problem here.
Yeah.
So it looks like that pawn needs to be defended, but if King F1, Rook C1 check wins right off the bat. Knight E1, perhaps.
Hey,
it's tough here for White.
I'm going to flip to this game only because it has relevance from what you taught in your class. Because I know you were going over queen endings.
Yeah.
And here we are between Shashwat Siva Kumar as White against Ashok.
Okay. Well, this is, going over all these queen endings, playing over Meraxi's games and stuff. I sort of have a little bit more of an understanding of them.
And by the way, Paul's Endgame Lab is Mondays at 6:30. So if anyone wants to jump in, there's still 4 more weeks left.
Thank you. It's the outside in all these end games. It's the advanced pawns that are often the most telling thing here. We were even looking at a Kasparov versus the rest of the world, which was sort of decided by a pawn that was just one file further advanced, one rank further advanced than the enemy pawn, than the world. So it makes all the difference in these end games sometimes. And, both kings look kind of unsafe here, but White's king looks a little safer. Black has this outside pass pawn at A4 and should be thinking about driving it home.
And Judith is saying, so, the classes you do online over Zoom, they're recorded. So if anyone wants to join the classes, we can get you the recordings of the first 2 classes. And Judith put the link in the chat. So anyone's curious about it, it's an endgame specific class. So a lot of cool stuff, and we can get you the recordings of the first 2 classes. Let me jump into Rui and Elliot, because I think this game is like probably the most technical that has so much at stake.
Okay, so White has managed to exchange bishops on G6. And, white sacrifice on f6 is not out of the question at some point. But again, this all-important e-file that Elliott controls here with the rooks. The f-file does not look so important to me. The e-file looks a lot more important. You know, in an ideal world for white, the queens would be off and white could start taking that pawn at d6, but that's a long way away. And
let's peek into.
There's problems for white here in this position. I would think.
I'm jumping to Barbara Goodkind against Kevin Sun, and Kevin is up material, but he's got like a blistering attack coming at him. What do you think?
Well, yes, white certainly has an attack going here. Threats like queen g5 and taking on g6, or just bishop g6. This is tough for black here.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to navigate for sure.
Yeah, so looks like white has a very, very strong attack.
Let's jump to Simona Neiberg against Christian Clemens here. Simona's white, Roboro 13.
Okay. All right, this was an interesting game. Yeah, an interesting opening, and still a lot of tactics are going on here. So, you know, white's been pushing this game, and if bishop takes b2, rook b1 traps the black bishop in the middle of the board practically. Look at that, bishop a3, rook b3, and the black bishop is completely trapped. So does that mean that the black bishop has to go back the other way? Probably. And then white just is sitting on a pawn advantage after e takes f7 check, and probably a nice positional advantage too, with the backward pawn at c6.
The doubled pawns on the g.
Much more space. I like this for white.
Yeah, and it, you know, like I said earlier, it's seldom do we see Christian as Clemens as part of a very sharp game, kind of on the wrong side of it. And
I think white might have taken black right out of the book as early as the fourth or fifth move when she played d takes e5. That's not the usual move.
And she didn't expend a lot of time, so she's probably well aware of it.
Sometimes if you prepare a little line that you love, and you know, and then the other person is not expecting that, even though it's their opening. You know, there's all these sidelines. You know.
Let's take a look at the top board in the under 1600. This was Pranav Pradeep against Daniel Perlov. Perlov looks like he is down a pawn. And the pieces look defensively placed.
Oh, this is not going well for black at all. I mean,
that
the white king
D5
white king is going to take up, is already better than the black king. And like you said, there's a pawn advantage, a weak black pawn at d5, potential pass pawn, already a pass pawn at e5, and another potential pass pawn on the queen's side. This must be a win for white, or, you know, in the hands of somebody like Karpov or Fischer, you know, or Carlson, this would just be an easy win, I'm sure.
We're going to jump to board one. Eric Lee, FIDE Master, against FIDE Master Kyron Griffith as black, who's been in control of this game.
Yeah, black is just playing in the center, on the king side, on the queen side. Yeah. Okay, so finally white is trying to get something going here on X-raying the pawn at g6, or trying to get something here. Finally, there's cashing in the two bishops. White is just, now trying to trade, black is trying to trade queens or play pawn to b4 coming up here. It's black's moves are just kind of rolling out so easily.
And those bishops are pretty powerful for black. And on top of having the material advantage.
Super duper powerful.
Back to Rui Yang Yan as white against Elliot Winslow's black here. This is a tough game.
Okay, so black has a good game here, but the issue is the weak d6 pawn.
Yeah.
And if black could find some kind of tactical solution, but black seems to have quite a good game here with the control of the e-file and so on and so forth. But let's say queen d4 now. Black doesn't necessarily want this exchange on c5, because if white can play queen c5, then there's a passed pawn at d5 coming up here. This game is a little bit puzzling in exactly how black should proceed or should have proceeded.
Let's go to board.
This is kind of white's dream here, is to play queen d4 and trade queens.
So this was the board 2 in the under 1600 section. This was Ramachita is white.
Oh, yeah.
Leora Ginsburg is black.
Yeah, we've been following that game.
And it looks like Rama has been able to trade the queens off, and he hangs on to an extra pawn.
Wow. Except for black has bishop takes a3 or rook takes a3.
Yeah.
And black is probably...
Now, does black have the better endgame now if the material's even?
Well, it's not exactly even. White's up a piece for 3 pawns. It's gonna, it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think
what do you like? The piece or the pawns?
After rook a3, bishop a3, I kind of would rather have the pieces, I think.
Is it because it's 2 knights? Or it's just because they're pieces?
Because the black pawns are not going to queen anytime soon. And, it's going to be difficult for black to sort of do anything.
Now, check this out. This is the game we were
following. But it's probably even. It's probably an even position.
We're back to the queen ending game between Ashik Uzzaman and Shashwath Sivakumar.
Oh, but gosh, these queen endings. That pawn at a3. Black has made progress here, but is he losing the pawn at a3? Queen takes a3. I would do it in a flash. Get rid of that pawn. Yeah. It's probably a draw. Or should be a draw.
Can we say that this game will probably be the last game of the round?
Look at how fast Ashik is moving.
He does it all the time. I mean, he does it at mechanics when we play live. He's he doesn't want to sit around and calculate all day.
I'm going to say white is slightly better because his pawn is
now. Is this a mistake? He just played king d6. If he plays queen f6 and then trades the queen off, doesn't he have a?
Well, black can stay in the square of the pawn by playing king d7.
Right, and then takes with the pawn.
And then it'll be mutual destruction probably. Like if queen f6, king d7, trade, and that would be a draw.
Let's take a look at Kyron's game with Eric Lee. It looks like. Oh wow.
Has Eric been able to do anything in this game?
Yeah, this does not look favorable at all. I think...
well, black has finally won a piece, which was inevitable, I think. I mean, this game is one game... What do they say? It's a game you want to forget.
Yeah, and as chess players, we've all been there. Where clearly Eric. Eric Lee.
He just got pounded in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he can play with GMs, right? I mean, he's that good a player. And when you have an off day, you have an off day, and and you're having an off day against someone that knows how to make you pay when you have that off day.
Yeah, and I think Chiron just was better prepared. And I'm looking at the could have just played bishop takes d2 and queen e4, forcing the queen exchange. Instead, he's just full of confidence and brings his rook into the game as well. He's just waiting for white to resign.
Yeah.
White has to trade queens anyway. What's white playing for here? It's just, there's nothing.
All right, let me jump to Rui, board 2 in the top section. Rui against Elliot.
Elliot's still thinking. This queen d4 is a strong move. This was what I was talking about a few moves ago, that this is kind of white's goal here, and black doesn't seem to have sort of gotten himself prepared for it.
Is there a possible...
This was black's sort of nightmare scenario with queens coming off and then the vulnerability of a pawn at d6.
Right.
But it's still, you'd imagine that there's still enough play here. Even if black, say, goes into passive mode by playing something like rook d8, queen takes c5, b takes c5, maybe that wasn't so good. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, what's Elliot got up his sleeve now? Queen c5, rook f4, maybe? I don't think that works. Rook f4, queen c8 check. Yeah, so Elliot has to just take back. So the question is, will this pawn, go in for a touchdown? Black is very active here.
Right.
Yeah. Black is very active, and that may compensate for this pawn at d5. But black is going to have to stay active and maybe bring his king to d7. If the black king can go to d7, maybe there'll be some breathing room.
And Rui plays rook f3, rook on 4 to f3, not wanting to trade.
Right. Which is going to make it difficult for Elliot to cross over with the king, maybe. Although king f8, king e8, king d7 looks like a kind of a try here.
And Chiron has won his game against.
That game was a surprise.
I mean, it was definitely a surprise. And as chess players, we've all been there. I mean, we've witnessed Chiron get just blitzed by Michael Walder one Tuesday night.
Yeah,
and it just happens, and that's kind of like one of the beauties of chess. It's like, we're not robots, and on any given day, some of the best can just not have it, and this is one of those days, unfortunately, for FIDE Master Eric Lee, because we know he's a supreme talent, and he was just up against someone who was hot, and made him pay.
What I always thought the beauty of the game was when I crashed like a bug.
That's what made it fun, made it interesting for you. So let's take a peek to Simona Neiberg, and she's held on to the pawn advantage, but we've kind of traded down. Christian Clemens is dealing with the awful pawns on the G file.
Yeah, well, this is now looking, actually, in a way, sort of looking up for black, who has, this kind of good knight versus bad bishop possibility even.
Yeah.
Also, let's not forget black actually has a passed pawn at d5.
And the white's king's in the middle of the board. So
that could be to black's advantage, but black has some has some play here.
I have to peek at this
finally.
Game. Here, this is Barbara Goodkind and Kevin Sun.
Christian Clemens' game is looking up there, I would say, a little bit.
So that was just played. Bishop H7.
Bishop H7 check. Let's see. Queen G5, Queen F6. Look at that move.
Yeah. It takes the wow. Takes
Well,
the bishop. Bishop
let's see
F8.
now. It's either king takes H7 or king F7. King H7, bishop to G7 check wins on the spot. So king F7 is forced. And then I guess queen H5 check. But it looks like black might be escaping here after king F7.
We may have a guest jump on the Zoom. I'm trying to make it happen here.
Is that right? King F7, is black getting away? Queen H5 check, king E6, queen E8 check. White hasn't even sacrificed he's only sacrificed a pawn for this position. But still, he has to come up with something. Bishop H7 check was very nice. Kevin, another one of my students.
So we're gonna
Queen H5 check, king E6, and you're just chasing the black king sort of behind the protection of the center pawns. Does white have anything else?
And I believe very shortly, and we're going to see how we make this work, FIDE Master Kyron Griffith is going to jump on the Zoom.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
There he is. Yeah, Kyron, fantastic game. And we were just talking about how it was kind of surprising because, Eric's a really tough player, but sometimes that's how the breaks go, and it's not a chess player's day. Tell us about how that game went. Was there something that you did that sort of you thought might have thrown his preparation?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to tell Paul this was for him because he always tells me he's always talking about how I get bad positions out of the King's Indian. So I finally got one.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's funny. You don't pay any attention to me, but you have gotten some bad games out of the King's Indian.
No, you're right. It's completely deserved. But no, I was actually expecting a different line. He usually plays the H3 line against me in the King's Indian, but this time he played a Samish, and I think. After you played d5, I was thinking for a while because knight e5 is the main move, but knight a5 is actually a kind of a strange alternative that is probably not any better, but just much trickier. So I think it really paid off because I think he kind of lost the thread quickly.
It looked like after queen b6, you already had a good game, I would say. It's kind of funny.
I think the stream is down, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in. That's why.
We're dark.
I'm putting you. You're still good.
Yeah, but white like really can't play a4 in those positions. I think, which is I don't know. That's why it's so tricky is because like white always just automatically plays a4, but I think it's
expecting
causes him a lot of problems.
e6 instead of what you did probably.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, he actually defended well. I thought he would just cut him, but he kept making tricks, and I was.
Well, it seemed to me you were just completely in control after you took on c4. That was it.
Yeah. I think it's not that it's just a pawn. It's like a pawn plus I get the bishop pair plus like my plans are all very.
Yeah, I mean. It was not Eric's day, that's for sure. It was so you're 5-0. Do you think you're gonna do well in this tournament?
I think I will do well in this tournament. But we'll see. We'll see how the last round.
What do you think of this Elliott game?
I haven't gotten the chance to look at any of the others actually. So
yeah, we're
let's take a
looking at
look.
Elliot's game right now. Elliot versus
Playing
this
Rui.
is the second board. This is your competition here.
Right. Let's take a look. So it's like material looks even. White's got the protected passer, but black has quite a bit of activity.
Yeah,
I would hazard to say roughly equal.
Yeah.
And if Elliot wins, that's going to be your opponent in the final round here.
Maybe even if he draws.
Because he played Rui last week.
Right. So yeah, both you and Elliot, Karen, are playing some really. You're showing these youngsters how to play dynamically, how to play creatively, and I'm really impressed by maybe they're raising your game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And here we have Simona Neighbor, White, against
strong.
Christian Clemens.
Yeah, Christian is really making a comeback here. That D4 is a nice looking move.
Yeah, he looked really bad out of the opening, and
he was bad out of the opening, and now Black's getting all kinds of things going for himself.
Yeah, it looks like Black's fine.
Nice little shot. Pawn
Free coming.
So this one's for you, Paul. So this was the ending of that game between Shashwat Sivakumar and Ashok Uzaman. We thought this would be the last game of the round.
Oh no! Oh yeah! This is hilarious. We were just looking at odd checkmates. When one player plays to win too hard. And we were looking at these odd kind of checkmates.
Yeah,
and
look at that.
Another one. This shows you what can go wrong in queen endings.
You got to watch out. Yeah, that happens.
If you play too aggressively, or you don't, there's lots of famous examples of people falling into checkmates.
And this is the board 3 in the top section. Kalen Melville and Pranav Sairam.
Yeah, Kalen's having a really good tournament. It's 3 out of 4, I thought.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
This looks bad for him though. That knight on D4 is a monster.
Yeah, it's pretty strong right there.
Yeah, well, White does have the C file.
And one of the things, Kalen, that's worrisome. I'm looking at his time at 4 minutes. He tends to get into time trouble, and the fact that he's sort of going to end up defending, and then with less time, is going to be a challenge for him.
Yeah, definitely. I think Black's play is pretty easy here.
Black's done very well here for sure. But
let's peek back at this game between Rui and Elliot. We've had some developments.
Rui and Elliot.
I feel like something didn't go right here.
Oh, whoa.
Right?
Is that a piece?
Rui hung a piece.
Rui hung a piece. Oh, wow.
So here we go. This is what happened.
Let's go step back one move or two. Let's see how this happened.
That's the move right there.
That's complete lost. Dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Rook D3, quite a blunder. That's definitely unlike her.
Yeah, and she wasn't even in the chat. So can't blame that. So that's too bad, because this was actually a fun game to watch. She's trying to make the best
I think she had really good chances with Elliot's time that low.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, it's just very easy for him.
Well, so it looks like your opponent will likely be Elliot Winslow, although this game is not over. So we're looking forward to that. So when you see the pairings on Monday at noon, do you go into preparation?
See them. I have a pretty good feeling I was going to play Eric. So
yeah, you probably predicted that. Yeah.
I didn't play like a ton of effort, but I definitely looked at the H3 line that I was expecting, but he deviated anyway. So I figured, if he deviated with the same-ish, I might as well go into some sideline. Then that way we're both out of book rather than just me.
Yeah, you don't want to be the only one looking around.
Yeah.
So here
well, I went into a internet purgatory there for a while, you guys.
Oh, was that you?
And I'm back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, you adjusted the names, but I think everyone can figure that out. Here we go to Simona and Christian Clemens. We have Knight versus Bishop. Pass pawn.
I actually liked Black's position before.
Yeah, I did too.
More.
Now this advanced D pawn looks like a weakness, maybe.
But C5 here. C5 has to be. We have to figure out what happens there.
And Christian's low on time here. He's gonna have to figure this out. I know Simona plays well under time pressure.
Yeah, C5 was maybe considerably better now, because after King F3, how do you defend the D pawn?
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, what
he's trying to do.
This King F3 and takes the D pawn.
This is probably losing for Black now.
Yeah, C5 was the only move. It looked like there.
Yeah, because even if White plays B5, you at least get pawn to C4, and then your pawn on D3
and something
isn't quite
is
so stranded.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rooks came off, and suddenly Black looked like he was a bit in trouble here. Sometimes it's just knowing what pieces to exchange or something, and the transitions are what is difficult for the player under master level, I think, is judging the transitions as they happen one after the other.
So just
I agree. I think in that game, I think Christian traded off all the rooks for a pawn, but I think his activity might have been worth more than a pawn. Like he should have just kind of kept building up the pressure instead of releasing everything.
So here we're Kalen Melville against Pranav, and Kalen's got to solve the time issue he's got and try to make something of this position. Elliot Winslow did win that game, so he is at 4.5.
Ruiz on a slump here,
and he will be the only player with 4.5. So it looks like Kyron will get White against Elliot, but I will leave that to Chief Tournament Director Judith to officially announce that.
All I can say is I hope we don't see a missed mate in one.
Hey, Kyron, I have to ask, did you notice that in the game?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I played Queen C7, I was like, oh, there's checkmate. And then, actually after... But he hadn't moved yet, but he'd spent like 10 seconds. I was like, oh, he doesn't see it.
Right.
I was still losing anyway, though.
And that was right after him playing like some of the most beautiful chess we've ever seen. And then he just misses a mate in one in the very next game. It's a few minutes later.
Yeah. You guys have really, there's been a lot of very creative chess. I just want to say that again from from you and Elliot. And it's been a lot of fun to watch.
And speaking of a lot of fun to watch, oh, sorry, I just changed it.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
It's gonna be
change away.
Look at this. Did he somehow survive this? I mean, this is what Kevin's son.
Like king teleported to C7 from like.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Like this is what he was facing.
That was definitely checkmate. I don't know what happened there.
Check.
Yeah, this looks bad for Black, but somehow he managed to get across to the other side of the board.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it.
That check was fancy, but the Black King ran up, and
there we go. Now. So now Kevin marched across the
board. Maybe Bishop G5 was better there. Who knows?
Yeah, it just feels like he survived.
Looks good for White.
Yeah, White's still almost certainly winning this because Black's
and check this endgame out here. This is the board 2 in the under 1600 with Ramachita as white and Leora Ginsburg as black.
I think in the most recent Titled Tuesday, Geary lost King Rook Knight versus King Rook, so there's a chance. I mean, he pretty much got flagged, but yeah.
Who was that against?
In Vietnam,
Okay.
but he's so super strong.
And they agreed to a draw. They agreed to a draw in this position.
Yeah, I mean, white can go win the pawn and then be annoying probably, but
Well, this was a good result for Ramachita Fadreitis, who was getting, I think, in a lot of trouble in this game.
He was. Yeah, he survived that attack.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
A good game.
Let's check in on
Maybe
Simona.
you can. He's in my class tomorrow, right, Abel?
Yes.
Maybe we can.
I'll just send you the game. I'll just send you
me
the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I can. I don't know. I could probably find it myself.
So what do you guys think of this? This is
No, White's got to be winning here. Probably could have taken the pawn at c5. Would have been a little just as easy, but this is.
And Simona's got 5 minutes to Christian's 1 minute.
She should just be sure to play King D5 first, and then take on C5.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
King C6, Knight A5, King C5, Knight B3 check.
Oh, yeah. There is that.
But
just Bishop E3.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways here. This is winning here with the
Bishop. Yeah, Bishop
pawn coming up on the queen side.
Michael
think.
Walder saying Bishop E3 in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off and.
All right, get yourself
take 10 minutes.
Get yourself together, and good luck in the final round.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining.
It's going to be a great game.
We'll have like a form of draw or something.
All right, good
that
luck.
That would suit you, I think.
That was FIDE Master Kyron Griffith joining us
Bishop
for a few minutes.
B6 here, or Bishop B6 was better. Would have won instantly.
You still got to watch out for all the tricks here, right?
Yeah,
But
I mean, Bishop
like,
B6 and then King C6.
It looks like Simona will just grind this down.
Yeah, this is going to be a win eventually for White, I think.
And for viewers watching, the next round will be at around 8 p.m. And obviously, we have to wait till all the games are finished in... oops. Oh, I just kind of messed that up a little bit. So let me fix that.
So we had Elliott win on board 2.
Yeah,
important win for the older generation, as they say.
Yeah, you know, it's it'll be an interesting, and actually what I'm going to do now, viewers, hang tight with me because I'm going to correct the what we got here. Turn that out.
Thanks to everybody for showing up and listen and hanging with us this evening.
Yeah, it's a great round of chess. Kyron is 5-0, and he, in all likelihood, will be playing Elliott Winslow in the final round, who is 4.5.
Elliott the alley cat.
Yeah, he's he finds a way. Let's take a look at Kalen. Kalen here with 1:12. Actually, he has more time than his opponent now.
Well, he's finally found a time pressure addict like himself, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
Chess Pilot. Where's Chess Pilot 01 come from? What's the flag there?
He's a South Bay player. He's a kid, a Scholastic player. Really strong. He's coached by Fike Aleskarov, international master. Really good coach. So... yeah, we're
and
aware of him.
Kalen, this is a tough little position here with another piece for pawns, knight for 3 pawns.
Right.
But the rooks on the board mean that this is if the rooks and the queens were off the board, I wouldn't know exactly what was happening, but.
And 14 Rabbits, notice he's got a Netherlands flag. That part of his story.
That's what I was asking you about.
Yeah, that part I'm not aware with.
So can people just put up whatever flag they want?
Yeah, could it be that he put up that flag to intimidate? Because
yeah.
Possibly, who knows?
Queen C7 was a good move, I think.
So,
and a knight has trouble dealing with lots of pawns. And
Kalen really has to watch his time.
The rooks are on the board, and if black can just manage to pick up a pawn,
Kalen is taking too much time.
Trade the rook on G7 or play rook C5, something. Wow, are we watching the time just run out? Unbelievable. King G7, and then, I don't know, rook C5 or rook D5.
And now he's, I think the goal in what he did was to calculate to the point where he knows what he's going to do over the next series of moves. And it looks...
Well, that worked up to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough little game here. This is tough to call. Black is going for the queenside pawns here. Rook D5 is too late. I'm not sure what that is all about. Rook C2.
I was a little surprised by G4.
Yeah, that's a funny move. Rook back to D5.
It's going to just sort of lose those pawns.
Yeah, you don't want to lose all these pawns like this. And this white has yet to make any inroads with A5. Black is probably winning now. For sure.
Yeah.
I take E4.
And he ran out of time. He just ran out of time. And in the other game we were following, Simona Neiberg closed the show against Christian Clemens.
Well,
yeah, that's what happened. He had to sacrifice the knight.
For the passed A pawn. As usual, the outside pass pawn, as I say over and over and over again.
Let's follow Kevin's son here.
Okay, Kevin, hanging in there.
Looks like he's
under a vicious attack.
Looks like he's survived.
Wow. Look at this. Incredible, Kevin.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
Holy cow. Look at this. So let me go back to this game because Daniel Perlov in the chat is clearly losing. But what happened was, unbeknownst to the player, a threefold repetition happened.
White should have gone towards the queen side, I guess. Black got a lot of counterplay somehow, but still White should be winning this.
White should have moved the king to the G and H.
Congratulations, Daniel, for pulling that out of the hat.
You lucked out. But congratulations staying in there. And this goes to show, staying in there and trying to find solutions even when everything looks lost. Sometimes it pays off. So let's check this. Kevin might pull this off. Each player's got like 10 seconds left.
Oh, that pass pawn at F3 is very powerful.
Oh.
But this should be a draw.
Well, not anymore.
Queen F3. Oh, I don't know. Is Black playing for the loss here with this?
Yeah, he traded queens and then lost.
Yeah, this is just why trade. You can't trade queens into a pawn down, king and pawn ending.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin.
So you're going to have to talk to him about that one.
Yeah. He traded queens into a lost king and pawn ending.
And
that's unfortunate.
Let me look, because I think Ako Hidari is still playing. So we still have games going. Or do we? Let me see. Or maybe not. Oh, is Rachel Tiang still playing? Yeah. Rudolph. This game should be over though.
So I'll take a 5-minute break, Abel.
Yeah, take a break, because it looks.
Can I cut my video on Zoom?
Or just leave it open, but yeah, just turn it like off or whatever.
Right. Okay. And I'll be back in 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, I'll just be yapping while you do God knows what. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I think we are close to the end of the fifth round, which had some surprising games. And we will be Judith will be getting the pairings for the final round, and Judith confirmed that all games are finished. So she is pairing the next round right now. The estimated start time will be about 8 p.m. And we want to thank everyone for joining us. Still one final round of chess to be played. It looks like, and Judith, if you're listening, Ako Hidari is requesting a 0-point buy for the last round. And it would be a 0-point buy because it's the last round. And I'm sure Judith is listening, so I trust she will get that. I'll confirm that. I'll text her just to be sure. And one of the things, and I texted her, she got it. So next Tuesday, and this is for everyone playing, everyone listening, we will have a Mechanics Institute Players Appreciation USCF online rated tournament, completely free. You just have to have a valid USCF membership, because it is going to be USCF rated. And what we'll do is we'll do a random drawing of everyone that enters. We'll give away 3 entries to the next Tuesday night marathon, which will be starting on August 4th, I believe. That Tuesday, it'll be the Tuesday following next week, August 4th. And we haven't determined yet how many rounds. Hello, GM Derek. Is that Derek? I know a Derek. What is the last name of Derek? And oh, hey, how's it going? So next Tuesday, free USCF online rated tournament. We'll give 3 free entries. We'll just do like a random drawing of everyone that enters, and yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And we may give away a lot of some other items, just as a thank you for everyone playing at the Mechanics Institute, the Tuesday Night Marathon online. A unique tournament in that we do the pairings ourselves manually on chess.com. So we're able to pair according to USCF over the board ratings, and you can take buys and all of that. So it's a lot of fun, and we want to thank the Chief Tournament Director, Judith Starry, No Doctor. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. I assumed it was O'Connor that was in the chat. So is it Derek O'Connor or or is it Derek Wu? I'm thinking it's O'Connor. Or is it like a totally new Derek? Another Derek we don't know. That is Derek Wu. So thank you for joining. Actually, So Derek, no joke. I actually had talked to Judith last week. It was Judith or Paul. Actually, it was more than last week. It was like probably a couple of weeks ago, about having you on as a guest commentator for one of these Tuesday night events. Because it was a lot of fun having you in the commentary. It was during the John Donaldson Championship at Mechanics. So if you're interested in that, let us know, because we would love to have you on. And maybe have you on and I play the tournament, because I think you and Paul have it handled. So if you're down for that, we will definitely have you on as a guest commentator. And Derek Wu streams himself, so perfect. Feel free to put your link in the chat, and because we're a fan of the Woos at the Mechanics Institute, and Rochelle and Derek, and we'd love to have you on. Perfect. So, and another thing I'll plug while Judith is doing the pairings for the final round, this Sunday we will have a USCF online rated rapid tournament. So you can just go to the Mechanics Institute webpage if you're interested in participating in that. I'll put the link right now. And this is Sunday afternoon, and the tournament would start at 2 p.m. So let me put that in the stream chat. If you want to play the Sunday USCF rated rapid tournament, and if you played our rapid tournaments, it would not be a surprise that Grandmaster Alexander Lenderman, he's played it. Michael Rode, Grandmaster, he's played our rapids as well. So if you want to get some action on Sunday, because there's no sports that you can go to, feel free to play our rapid. Although the baseball season is supposed to start on Thursday. One of the things I noticed, because I was watching an exhibition game yesterday, is cutout fans in the stands. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. But let's save that discussion, because Judith is saying that the pairings are posted. So let me put the link on the website. And the pairings are up, and here you follow this link, you can see the pairings, and it looks like on board 1, Kyron Griffith is going to be white against Elliot Winslow. Board 2 will have Pranav Siram with 4 points against Ashik Uzuman, also with 4. So Kyron is the only one with 5, and Elliot's the only one with 4.5. And on board 2, Pranav Siram against Ashik Uzuman. Board 3, Tejas Mahesh is going to play Simona Neighbor. That'll be a fun match to watch. Stuart Katz is going to play Eric Lee. Tough match for him on board 4. And actually, Judith, if you're listening, board 5, Makumsky. Do we know he's playing?
Huh.
And just have to double check that, because I know he can make the 5th round game, but perhaps he could make the final round game. So I just notified Judith just to make sure. Okay, so players, Judith's going to repair the round, because it involves a player that's sort of high up on the boards. There's a chance it could affect the prize pool. So we're going to take John out and repair, and so just hang tight.
Okay, so the players are going to get repaired.
And we're playing by USCF rules, and we want to make sure everything is done right, and that's what's going to happen. So obviously it won't affect the pairings on the top 4 boards, I don't think, but then it'll affect everyone else down. So just hang tight. But what I can say, in the under 1600 section, Shankara Mohan with 3.5 will play white against Pranav Pradeep, also with 3.5. And Daniel Perlov, who also has 3.5, he'll be playing Leora Ginsburg. So those will be the matches for the top. And actually, Ramachita also has 3.5, and he'll be playing Martin Camacho. So it's sort of a dogfight in the under 1600 section for the top spot. So there'll be a lot of action there. So we'll follow those games.
There's 4 players with 3.5, and nobody with 3.
Yeah. So
amazing.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like Ramachita has got the most favorable path to 4.5, just on paper. Because Leora Ginsburg, Daniel Perlov, that'll be a fight, and Shankara Mohan and Pranav Pradeep. But who knows? You never know. We'll see how everything goes out, and even a player with 2.5 like Raheem Darcy, you win the game, and you never know. But with so many players with 3.5, it's going to be tough to crack into the money with that going on. So, Paul, what do you anticipate is going to happen in the Kyron Elliott Winslow game?
These guys, I mean, who knows? Kyron hasn't been opening with E4 as much lately, so otherwise I'd say it's going to be a Nador, but maybe it's going to be a Nador.
Because the thing for Elliott is if he wins this game, he takes clear first.
Yeah, and all Kyron needs is a draw for clear first, right?
All he needs is a draw for clear first.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, Elliott, on the other hand, what about clear second?
Well, that's
Elliott's a practical chess player.
No, he looks at the odds and what's going to happen. The only problem for him is that if he gets a draw and gets to 5, there's 4 other players with 4 points.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so
they can catch him.
He's going to be splitting money, right? And so
but how many bananas does the second place and third place get?
Bananas. How many roses?
Bananas.
Well, right now, based on 40 entries, it was $75, but it'll probably be 100 or over.
Right.
Because we had a boost. So first place 150, it'll probably end up being like 200.
Well, Elliott, in a sense, in this kind of situation, you have draw odds.
Sure. Right.
Because Kyron will, he already hinted that he'd take a draw.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, remember he said, maybe the game will be a 6-move draw. So if I'm Elliott, I'm listening to that and going, I'm going to play for a win.
And thanks everyone for your patience while we make sure we have all the standings and the results correct. And it's 7:59 now, so that we still got time.
I have been cheering for you, Rama. That was a night that you were in trouble in that game. And definitely tomorrow we'll look at it.
Did you see him in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been cheering for all of my students, actually.
All right. So
send us the PGN, Rama, and we'll look at it tomorrow.
And Judith is doing the pairings right now. So we'll release
this
the
is the
pairings.
first tournament ever where the tournament director says ready or not. Ready or not, here we go.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
Like Michael,
so says the tournament director.
Like Michael Buffer. So all right, let's see. Let me see the updated pairings. Actually, let me take this opportunity. Do I need to fix it? I'm going to transition real quick on the... okay, let's see. While we're waiting on some stuff, I'm doing some little broadcast surgery. There we go. think we're all right. Actually, let me do one more thing. So let me pull this down a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. Do we have the updates?
I think we got the black screen again.
Oh no, I switched it because I was fixing some things. I think we got it back.
Back again. Good.
Okay, it looks like the pairings are up. The pairings are up, so let me put that in the chat. There you go. So anybody who wants to follow, those are the players. And let me go to chess.com because...
Here we are, the last round. Dum-da-da-dum.
Here we go.
This is it, the Tuesday night marathon, a long tradition.
It has started, so let me pull up
We're
the games.
We're going to have a winner.
And here we go. So let me pull up a bunch of games. So
Could there be a tie for first if Elliot draws? No. If Elliot wins? No. There's no tie for first.
No.
We're going to get a clear first place.
Somebody's going to win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dance.
And it could still be a Najdorf. Tyron's teasing it with knight c3, and Elliot's going into a think here. Moves like knight c3 can be very significant or not. Okay.
So I'm pulling up a bunch of games. So if you want to start getting into the...
Yeah, we have Optimistic Crook versus Rui. Is that G, right? G, 2018.
Yeah, that's Rui. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And this knight d7 defense to bishop b5.
The games are going to be switching a little bit as I pull up a bunch
fine.
of stuff. Yeah. I'm just going to pull up.
Oh, okay. So Elliot's also facing this bishop b5 move. So there's a bunch of those. And here's another bishop b5 Sicilian. Incredible. So every game is bishop b5 check.
Is this a theme that we're seeing?
Yeah. This is actually Eric Lee and is playing the same game as Roy is.
All right, so I pulled up a bunch of games. Let's start at the top for the title. FIDE Master Kyron Griffith is white against International Master Elliot Winslow.
All right, well, this game hasn't taken off yet. It's definitely not going to be a Najdorf. It's it's knight c3, bishop b5 check, which is another modern offshoot to take the game into uncharted territory. Traditionally, you'd think black would be fine, but white probably maintains the advantage of the first move here, and that's about all I can say out of it.
So let's look at these two games because these are the other two games of players with 4 points playing each other. So this is Pranav Sairam as white. Let me flip the board orientation against Ashok Uzaman as black. Another
so we have
Sicilian.
some kind of like a Najdorf hybrid with G6, not a Najdorf dragon, you could call it, and a Nagin.
And I know Judith just finished the pairings, and I'm still aligning something on Leora's side then. So Daniel Perlov is there's something up with his game against Leora, so I'm sure Judith is working on that. And I just want to give like special props. I mean, I've been doing it, but you really can't do it enough. Judith is working like incredibly hard behind the scenes. Getting all the pairings in order, making sure all the results are solid, and doing everything. And it's just awesome having her just as part of the mechanics team. It's absolutely fabulous. So this is the final round. Thank you, Judith, for everything you're doing, and she's still troubleshooting a few things. And and we were mentioning in the beginning. So like, it's not enough that chess.com is up. You need to be signed in, live, ready to play. And if you're not, you run the risk of forfeiting the game.
Actually, do you get forfeited straight out of the gate?
Straight out. Straight out, because we can't parry you.
So that's it.
So Daniel Perlov might back himself into 4.5.
It happens.
And that's the way it goes. I mean, you got to be prepared, ready to go. Let's go to the other game of players with 4, and that is Tejas Mahesh against who's white against Simona, who is playing black. So all these games are, it's in the beginning, it's developing. But at least we're getting a taste of how the games will end up.
Well, this looks quite comfortable for black, although there's still some issues here. Black has the 2 bishops and is still pretty solid. White's trying to make something out of the center pawn, black center pawns, but
something
I would think that black would be okay here.
Something transpired here in between Austin Mai and Rudolph Breet, and okay, there. Oh, hung a knight, and he resigned.
Let's see how that. Oh yeah,
that'll do it.
I guess there was maybe no move. Queen G5 was better. Yeah.
So
hang a knight. That's it.
Austin Mai gets a quick win.
Yeah.
And he was at 3, so now he's going to finish at 4 points. Let's check in on this game between Caesar Tamandong, who is white. Let me change the board orientation, against Barbara Goodkind. So this should be kind of a fun one to follow.
Well, black has played a little passively here, I think, but still solid. I don't like this knight f8 idea. I don't see where the knight's going. It's just black should be thinking of taking some other kind of action, maybe involving pawn c5 or something like that.
And really quick, Paul, in another game that ended pretty quick, this is Javier Silva. And Javier Silva is white. He was playing Kevin Joe Roberts. And
oh no! Looks like black should play bishop d4 here, but still queen d4 might be okay.
There, castle. There it is.
Queen c2 threatens bishop e3, and black doesn't see it.
Yep, lose that piece, so resigned. So Javier Silva out of Sacramento comes up with the win, and he'll finish with 3 points. So couple of quick wins there. Let's take a look at Eric Lee, who's looking for a little bit of redemption. He's playing black against Stuart Katz, also out of Sacramento. Special shout out to the Sacramento players who have been showing up at mechanics and playing, and I just want to give a special shout out to FPON, because he's been recommending mechanics for players in the online community. We appreciate the support and the shout out, and we do the same for the Sacramento Chess Club and their online community. So it's just nice to have his support for what we do. So thank you for that.
Yeah, Pod.
Let's go back to Elliot and Kyron on board 1.
I'm still having issues with Twitch.
You got a little bit of lag. Maybe just refresh.
Yeah, it's loading very slowly for me for some reason. Even though I'm fine on Zoom, for some reason. Oh, I'm back. Okay. All right, Kyron and Elliot.
I'm sifting through the games, trying to find something crazy and ridiculous.
Well, I'm looking at this game. Still, it's a game. The Kyron Elliott game.
And this game is for the title. Like if a player wins this game, they win the tournament.
Right.
If it's a draw, Chiron wins the tournament.
If I'm Elliot, I might even think about castling queenside here, just as a crazy idea.
Well, can he still do it now that Chiron just played a4?
Maybe. I think Elliot's playing a waiting game here too, as well though.
Right.
I mean, castling queenside is crazy and dangerous. I'm just trying to think of a way for Black will probably castle on the king side and then play something. Rook b8 and pawn to b5. That would be a typical plan here. Maybe rook b8 right away.
So Judith is mentioning that all games are going, everything is taken care of.
Nice.
And thank you for everything you do. And she just got back to the States from a long trip to Hungary, and she's going to be making her way back, hopefully getting some good rest. So as you do that, thank you for everything, Judith, and drive safe. And
did Judith fly the plane back?
As she, if she had to, I believe she could have read the manual and figured it out, and then teach a course on how the pilots could have done it better. I have zero doubt, no doubt at all. All right, let me flip to Rui and Michael Lum, Optimistic Rook or Optimistic Crook, depending how you look at it.
What's our board 2?
Board 2. That is Pranav Sairam and Ashik Uzman.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a tough little game. Black looks better here. Okay, and this opening definitely went Black's way, I thought. And White's played a3 and now a4, so I'm not sure exactly what White is thinking of in this game. I guess Black's got to play b4, then maybe knight g5.
And what's it like for players? Like, you go into the last round. And,
well, sometimes you win some and sometimes you lose some, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah. in the last round, I've won some big games, but I've also lost some games, and it's nerve-wracking.
You've won some.
It's horribly nerve-wracking.
You lose some.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, let's let me find something good. Let's here we have Lauren Goodkind. She is here as White against Kevin Fong, Chess Appeals.
Okay. And White has won a clean pawn right in the middle of the board, is what it looks like. Yikes.
And those
Chess Appeal will have to go appeal this game.
Gonna have to appeal.
Queen d6, rook d6, pawn b6. What else can Black do here? Otherwise, White's going to take another pawn on c5.
And those
something went horribly wrong.
Yeah, and those that was probably the wrong pawn to hang if you were going to hang a pawn. Let's take a look at Tejas Mahesh and Simona Neiberg here.
All right, so White's trying to. Okay, now White can use the d4 square to, blockade on that point, and then try to. But Black has the 2 bishops, should be able to deal with that without too much problem. But knight d4, it's just one of those games.
And opportunity is calling.
Paul Whitehead. That was Magnus Carlsen.
Now here we go with this is the board 2 in the under 1600 with Ramachita as black against Martin Camacho, and it looks like he is down a pawn. What do you make of this?
White sacrificed a pawn for a nice looking position, but I'm not sure where the beef is, as they say.
They used to say.
As they used to say. So black seems to be okay here. White's got a little pressure, but black seems to be fine so far in this game. How's board 1?
Let's go back. Kyron Griffith and Elliot Winslow for the championship.
I'm sure that game will heat up at some point. So Elliot castled on the king's side, and Kyron's bringing his queen around, and Elliot's taking a sort of a wait-and-see approach with b6. I don't like either side here, It's difficult to play these positions. If black plays g5, he's got to be careful that white will play pawn e5, or it can be difficult to resolve the tension here. There's no clear-cut plan sometimes for either player here.
It's funny, in this round, the games are a lot more
sedate.
Standard, yeah. Players are a little more cautious in the last round. Let's take a look at this game between Shashwath Siva Kumar and Birovsky. It's like...
Well, black has lost 2 pawns, but he's got a very active position.
Oh,
this looks like it's shaping up kind of nicely for black. So it can be difficult to know exactly what's going on here. Lots of minor pieces on the board. The rooks are on the board. White, black's threatening h2 and e3, and now white's attacking the knight at g7, but not really because of rook e1 mate. So, yeah. And white's also trying to play king f1, but that can be met by rook e3. So there's still all kinds of tactics here. Lots of tactics. Knight e3 looks like the obvious move. Maybe bishop h2 check. A lot to calculate, a lot to look at here. Black decides to counterattack on the knight on b7. It's like, and without much thought, it's like a bunch of geniuses. I'm not sure what's going on here.
All right, let's take a look at Eric Lee against...
Rook b8 looks like a good move.
Eric Lee and Stuart Katz. This is a good game for Stuart. I know he likes to play the opportunity to play some strong competition, and doesn't come any stronger than Eric Lee.
Well, black looks like he has a nice game with those fianchettoed bishops and the rooks in the center, and obviously black has done well out of the opening here. White's playing to free himself a bit with this pawn c4 move, but black has really got a nice looking position here.
Let me check in on board 1, the championship game between Elliot Winslow's black and Kyron Griffith is white.
All right, so Kyron decides to play pawn e5. That's
Is that aggressive given the circumstances?
Yeah, well, he saw something. You have to do something eventually, or your opponent's going to do something. Maybe he was worried about Elliot playing pawn to g5. This somehow doesn't always add up without the white squared bishop, but I'm not sure I understand these positions as well as I could. I always imagine these positions with the white bishop at d3 or somewhere on the board, but without the white square bishops, you'd think black would have a good game here, but it can be difficult. There's always tactics too with pawn f5 or knight e4 or pawn f5 and bishop h6. I think black looks like he's okay, but these are difficult positions to judge well. At least they are for me, and a lot will depend on the next few moves to see what happens and how Elliott deals with this. The black knight on e8 is not very well placed here. That's for sure.
Let's check in on the board 2, which was Ashik Uzman and Pranav Sairam right here. Pranav Sairam is white.
White played a sort of a slow beginning to this game. Black has decided to play knight c4, but it meant that he had to take back on c4 with the pawn.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you make of that c4 pawn?
Well,
black?
Black wanted to take on c4 with the rook, but then he would have lost the pawn on b5. So I guess black should be happy here. He's got the two bishops. So that's, on the other hand, a lot of the dynamics have slowed down here. And the game has taken on a kind of a quieter,
a gentler,
gentler. I like black's game. I mean, he's got e5 and d5 and, more dynamic potential.
So for players or in people following the broadcast, I was actually at the Mechanics Institute today. I went there. Yeah, I did a little bit of work. I had to get some stuff from there. The building is closed, although the library is doing, like to-go service, so you can order books and pick them up. But people still can't enter the building. But I can tell everyone that the chess room looks alive and ready to go when that time comes. And I'll do a Facebook post tomorrow on Facebook, the Mechanics Institute, with the results of the Tuesday night marathon. And I'll include a couple of pictures of the chess room as it was today. It's ready to go. So for all of you that wonder, wow, is the chess room still there? What happened? What's going on? Believe me, the chess room is ready to go when it is safe to do so, and I will prove it to you by showing the pictures tomorrow. So, we look forward to over the board play. We'll do whatever modifications are necessary to meet all the guidelines and all of that. And but like you said one time before, when the day comes when we're able to truly come back and not have to worry about our health in any kind of way, that will be a special moment in time, and we will all know it, and it'll come. I believe it'll come, and we'll be there ready to provide the service as we do. All right. I'm desperately looking through games trying to find something totally crazy. I don't see that. So let's look at this game. This game looks interesting. This is Cesar Tamandong and Barbara Goodkind. Looks like Cesar is actually putting his pieces in good spots.
I'll say so. Look at that. Yikes. Black is in trouble here. Black needs to play knight e7 and knight d5, but knight e7 is going to be met by bishop d3. I think. I mean, white looks like it's close to winning here.
Yeah, and look at that. It's just constant pressure.
Yeah. Just pouring it on
this
here.
Is tough. Let's check in on
Pawn storm on the king side coming up.
Let's check board one. Why not? It looks the same, actually. Elliot seems to be in a deep think right now.
He does that. Well, I mean, good players know when to there's
Devote that
important
time.
points in the game. There's important points in the game where you sort of things hang in the balance, and you've got to put in a little extra thought. And this might be one of those moments where you sort of have to hunker down and figure out what's going on.
It's like a decision point. I mean, he's thinking of moves that are going to really dictate the next phase of the game.
That kind of thing, yeah. Exactly.
Let's look at your student, Ramachita Black, who is in contention in the under 1600 section, but he is facing Martin Camacho, who wants something to say about that contention.
Black played H6, I think, on the last move. That was way too slow.
Yeah, very passive.
That move sticks out at you like a sore thumb. Why not make a move like Bishop E7 and develop a piece? Here comes D5, and White's blowing open the center. Very dangerous for Black to waste time with moves like H6.
And that bishop's still on F8, so you can't
exactly
think of castling. You gotta get that bishop
out.
Let's take a look at Eric.
H6 was not in the cards, I don't think.
Eric Lee is Black here against Stuart Katz.
Okay.
And now Eric is looking to put on the squeeze with H5.
Yeah, this is kind of in the playbook of these kind of positions here. Black is trying to open the game with H4, pawn H3.
Got that bishop on B7.
He's got the two bishops and trying to open the game up dynamically. That the white knight at A3 makes a really bad impression here.
So let's take a look at Elliot and Kyron here. And Elliot went into the think tank and played F5. So what do you make of that?
Let's see. Yeah. I mean, Black had to find a move. There was probably a zillion possibilities here, and F5 is what Black comes up with to try to create dynamic play. I mean, my first thought is White's going to take on D6, play Bishop D2, and play Rook E1, and bring the other rook over to E1 and sort of zoom in down on that E6 pawn. So if I'm White, the first thing I'm going to think about is taking on D6. If you don't take on D6, Black can take on E5 or play pawn D5 himself, and then White, the move F5 will be useful for Black. So my gut says that White wants to take on D6 here, but Black will play probably knight D6 and rook over to E8 or get his pieces into interesting positions. I think Black's just trying to get his pieces onto good squares here.
So let me look on board 2.
White has to make his decision, what to do here. Take on D6 or play Bishop D2. Those look like the two moves.
And on board 2, here we
plays
are.
Bishop D2. Interesting.
He did do Bishop D2.
Yeah.
Pranav Sairam here and Ashik Uzman. Looks like it's still building up.
Yeah, again, this can be tough to play. If you want to be Black in this position because you have the two bishops, but White doesn't have too many weaknesses, and if he can get a pass pawn on the queen side, maybe. I mean, Black is better here. Black is a little better.
And check this game out. So we were watching this game earlier. This is Borovsky against Shashwat Sivakumar. And Sivakumar was actually down like 2 pawns, and now it looks like he's down like a piece, right?
Yeah, well, of course, I have no idea what happened here. But white is threatened with mate. So that's not,
Yeah.
I guess white can play knight e3, but then comes knight takes e3. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So black gives up a piece right there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's going on. These moves are coming quickly, but okay. In this position, this is not easy for white. If knight e3 takes and rook takes, and then the threat is rook to e2, and
yeah, it's tough because you're threatening mate.
It could be tough. It could be tough. King f1, maybe, but then there's all kinds of possibilities. Maybe the other rook comes to e2, or pawn h4. Black could try pawn h4 and then take on h2 check. King f1, pawn h4, bishop h4, knight h2, king g1. No, that's not good for black. Maybe black doubles rooks here. I mean, double rooks on the 7th rank is always
something to think about.
Yikes.
Something to think about.
I guess white could play pawn h3 then. And black still has to actually get something going here.
So here we are on board 3. This is Tejas Mahesh and Simona Neighbor.
Oh yeah, I wanted to see this game.
And white just played knight d5.
Yikes. Did black overlook that? I guess there was a pawn on d5.
Oh, yeah. There.
I mean, black is in trouble here. Well, it's going to have to yeah. I mean, if queen takes c1, knight e7 check, king h8, rook takes c1 check, bishop f1, and black has a rook and has only a rook for the queen. So that's not going to work. So black has to play something like this and give up the queen for a rook and a piece. And that's probably not enough. And white has a pawn as well. So this was, black seems to have overlooked knight takes d5.
Yeah.
Or else was just not prepared to.
Tactics there.
Not prepared to deal with.
All right, let's check.
Technical win now for white.
So here's Eric Lee.
Long way to go, though.
And Eric Lee, as we expected, just shoved that h-pawn.
Yeah, and then got the knight to g2. I was wondering if something like that was going to happen.
Fianchettoed the knight.
Yeah.
So yeah, this will be a challenge. And now Eric loading up with queen a8.
Yeah. And look at the knight at a3. Black is going for this long diagonal business here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the feeling this is going to end in some kind of horrible way for white somehow.
Yeah.
And that knight at a3 just keeps
Well, so we'll keep an eye on this game. Let's go back to board 1, the championship match between Kyron Griffith and Elliot Winslow. So when we last saw it, bishop d2 was played by Kyron, and then
and black played d5, and so black sort of sneaked that f pawn up to f5. That was well done. I'm not sure. Kyron was faced with a big choice there of taking on d6 or playing bishop d2, and so now he's trying to exchange the dark squared bishops. We've got a complicated fight on our hands here.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's fitting that we have a chess match, as people would say, except this actually is a chess match.
Yeah. It's a chess match.
Board. It's a game.
Yeah, I'm just want to say one more thing about this position.
Let me go back to it. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
White's a little better here.
You like white better here?
Yeah, I think white is better with some kingside chances and a little bit of kingside chances and the possibility of playing pawn to g4 or knight g5, bishop h4. I kind of like white a little. I think white's a little better here.
So Elliot just played knight b8
to redeploy the knight to
c6.
Yeah, a high level move. All right, and then the knight on c6 can bounce into d4 or b4 and create some problems for white over there. And so Elliot's not worried about the king side yet. All right.
So I'm gonna peek at this game only because black did what you expected.
Oh no, must have been a mistake.
So we have the rooks doubled.
And now is going for this. Well, there's not much else black can go for, but
right, because black is down a piece, but is on the attack, on the hunt.
But there's some major pressure coming here. Well, h4 is a threat, so white's going to play h4 himself, maybe. If I'm white, I want to win I want to find some way to exchange. If I'm black, I probably couldn't expect more than a draw here.
And play h4 was played.
Yeah, and that actually sets black a problem here. If pawn to g4, then rook to, then maybe pawn to a4. It's hard for black to improve his position.
g4.
Yeah, but now white plays pawn to a4. And now the white king can go and hide in h2 as well and avoid a lot of problems. I think black is considerably worse now.
Yeah.
And this is, well, I don't know if white wants to take on a6 when black can play knight e4. I think the rook stood very well on d4. I think white should have played pawn to a4.
And how much trouble is that if white does take that pawn and then you play knight e4?
Yeah, that looks like a world of trouble for whites, or possibly. I don't think white should be. White needs to try to activate that rook at a1, and pawn a4 looked like a lot better move than rook a4.
Let's do a quick peek on Rui against Michael Lum. Rui is black here. It looks like we have rooks and
Thanks,
bishop.
everybody who's watching.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Thank you for sticking with us. This is the final round of this Tuesday night marathon. It was 6 rounds. This is the final round, and we will by tomorrow morning we'll have the full standings and the prizes for the round. And this week's newsletter will have some of the games. And just reminder, next Tuesday, we're going to throw a one-day special mechanics players appreciation tournament. It'll be like a 7-round blitz. And we'll give out some prizes, some free entries to the next Tuesday.
We're broadcasting that, right?
Yeah, and we're going to broadcast that also. We'll have some free entries for the next Tuesday night marathon, which starts August 4th. We haven't determined how many rounds. We're thinking of doing an 8-rounder, 2 nights a week, same time control, G35 plus 2. And but we'll let everyone know. So next week, and it's completely free, USCF online rated Players Appreciation Blitz. We'll have a lot of fun, give away some stuff. And then the week after, we do it all over again. Tuesday night marathon, live from downtown San Francisco. All right, let's peek in on top game here. So Elliot redeployed. It looks like Kyron's redeploying.
Yeah, so complicated game. Complicated position.
Now, Elliot has 10 minutes left, and Kyron's got 20. Like, how much will this play in?
Well, that always depends on how complicated the position is, and Elliot's gotten better at. He was having trouble when he was in time pressure, but I think he's kind of solved some of those problems lately. It seems. His play all around has gotten. There's been a big improvement.
Let me pick it at this game.
I think he doesn't think time pressure is fun anymore like he used to.
All right, here we go. Took the pawn. There.
All right, and then after 94, yeah, I see. Okay, keep going. And after 94,
this is where
maybe that wasn't so bad. Took another pawn and played rook e5. Okay, maybe this is just fine for white here. I think black, maybe this was just a lot better than I originally thought. Black needs to try to dislodge the knight at e3. And maybe it's possible.
Can white play knight takes g4?
Then knight takes g4.
Oh, wow. Took the knight there.
E2. Yeah, then rook takes e2. A nice move. Very nice move. He misses it. I think you're right. I think that would have won on the spot. Well seen, Abel. And now this is black's only hope here is to play f4. But white looks like white can just play rook f1 here. And everything is probably fine for white.
Yeah, I might be running out of some gas here.
Black can win the a2 pawn, but white probably, it's coming down to the wire, but you found a nice move there.
And let's check on board 2 real quick with Ashik Uzman and Pranav Sairam, who's white, and Ashik Uzman is black. This is board 2. Both players with 4 out of 5.
All right, white's definitely made pawn e5 looks like a good move. And now white might be able to play pawn e6. If not, then he could probably just take on d6.
He does play e6.
He played e6, so maybe his queen d3 coming up, but then rook f5, yeah. That needed to be well calculated. Either it works or it doesn't. So obviously black needs to take that.
So let's go back to this game because we saw that Simona Neiberg had to give up quite a bit, but now it does not look good. It looks like Tejas Mahesh. It's just routine.
Well, white needs to, sometimes, black is dreaming of a blockade here. I would imagine this is a win for white.
Yeah, because you're up a queen for a rook.
Probably some way of winning the b pawn, running the rook out of squares or something like that.
Let's take a look at Eric Lee.
Yeah. There's not going to be a way out, I think.
And Eric Lee is black against Stuart Katz. He's trying to
figure out a way to mate Stuart here. And the white's done better than maybe I would have thought here. And black, I'm trying to find a way for black to sort of make significant progress.
Let's do a quick peek on board 1.
Knight h4 doesn't seem to do much. Queen g4 maybe?
Now, the one thing that's standing out to me in this game is Elliot's time is getting low.
Well, if Chiron wants to take advantage of that, he should, try to mix it up big time. And maybe he's waiting for that. I'm going to play G4 at some point. I mean, White definitely has the idea of playing G4, I think, at some point.
Like, where would he have to position another piece in order to start that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, G4 takes Queen G4, then Black could maybe try to get the F5 square, and then White can try to play H4, H5. Who knows? I mean, these things they're complicated, and
if it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you want to play G4 by preparing with H3, and so you can take back with the pawn. But other times you want to just play it anyway, and you can take back with the queen or some other piece. And
so let's take a look at this.
We've frozen thing. Oh, maybe not.
No, it's coming.
What are we looking at? Oh, this game.
Rook E2. Check that move out. Rook E2.
Well, he's trying to dislodge that knight. Rook F5 check, King E6.
Well,
and
White's got to go Rook A3, no?
It's not a move you want to play.
Yeah, right. Because then,
then
King
how about
G5.
Knight D5 check, King G5. I'm trying to play Knight F4 for White.
The problem is that the knight moves, then G2 is a little. And here's the other thing. Although White's ahead the material, White's only got 3 minutes.
Yeah, I've got a crazy idea here. Rook to E5 for White. King takes E5, giving up a whole rook. Then Knight C4 check after King E5, followed by Knight takes B2, and then push the A4 pawn or the and the H6 pawn. Wow. It might work.
Well, anything can work, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but this is a tricky move.
As a tactical,
and it's actually okay. Rook F5 check. Oh,
because he can play Rook E5 on the next move. So Rook F5 check, King E6, then Rook E5 check. This is even better. Now Rook E5 is a good move.
Did not play it. Rook G5. Gave it up.
All right, well, that's another way to play it. That's a good move as well. In fact, probably even better. Yeah, because although the rook remains on the board, Rook E3, Rook G4, all of White's problems are gone.
Now this is a lot simpler to play out.
Yeah. I was looking for the fancy move, but yeah. And now White's just... Black's best hope here is I don't know what. Rook G8. Gone is the attack on the G2 pawn. This is very tough. Black needs to try to keep both rooks on the board and pick up one of the pawns.
And Tejas Mahesh did win against Simona Neiberg, so saw a tactic, converted it. So congrats to Tejas.
5 points.
So Tejas, that's
a great score in this tournament.
Yeah, 5, and Tejas is like a 2,000, almost a 2,000 rated player. He will have 5 out of 6. So congratulations to Tejas, and he's actually a volunteer for the Mechanics Institute also. And we did not give him favorable pairings because of it. And we definitely couldn't because we paired by USCF pairings. Standard rating, but congratulations, that was a big win against Simona, who's a very tough player. All right,
and Black is doing his darndest here.
Yeah, he's trying to keep himself in there, sort of defending against 3 pawns on the loose here.
Yeah. Ultimately, white should prevail here, but rook and pawn endings are notoriously tough, and double rook and pawn endings are even tougher. But
the time is going to...
What about board 1?
That
time is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's take a look at board 1 with Kyron and Elliot. So now Kyron's been in the think a little bit because
so the dark squared bishops have gotten exchanged, which is, I suppose is good for white, because the black bishop defended a lot of squares on the king side and was, sort of the better of the 2 bishops. But it's still, white still has to play something like pawn to g4 at some point to make any impression here.
And
meanwhile, if he doesn't, black's going to play pawn to b5 and start using the queen side a little bit here. And white can play pawn to d4, but that's not really going to improve white's position that much.
And Kyron Griffith trying to go 6-0 in the Tuesday night marathon here. And he will have gone through some tough opponents. He will have beaten Eric, Rui, Elliot if he wins. And that's no easy thing to do for a player of any level.
So I think white's definitely got attacking ideas here. And this is kind of what I was saying initially, where I thought white was better here. And there's ideas like rook f3 and rook h3 and pawn g4. And I like positions where I have some potential of attacking. I mean, black might be solid as a rock here, and he probably is. But still, there's always that, that thing of like attacking the king. That's another chess player's thing that they like to do.
And let me just put in the chat next.
Yeah, here comes rook g1.
and it's coming. He's coming full force.
Telegraphing pawn to g4.
And in the chat, I just put a link for next Tuesday's Player Appreciation Blitz. 7 rounds, g5 plus 2, completely free for anyone. Just have to have a valid USCF membership. It will be USCF online rated. We're going to give away free prizes. A special thank you to everyone that's playing at our club. So tune in for that tournament, and we'll have all the information out.
Going back to this game, queen g7, unless black wants to play pawn h6, doesn't really make a lot of sense. So there's some very fine points here that are difficult for me to understand as well here, I think. White's definitely got the idea of playing pawn to g4 now, and then knight g3 and knight h5 will be possible, and it's possible for black to see some ghosts here and sort of panic. Queen g7 is looking a little questionable.
When Elliot just played b5.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, this is going to be one of those king side versus queen side.
Is this sort of like the dare? Like, all right.
Well, the die is cast.
Do it. Yeah.
There's it's not like black's going to try to attack on the king side. So.
Okay, so let's say Kyron plays g4. Then what does Elliot do then?
Well, then there's that question: do I take or do I let white take on f5? I mean, I'm pretty sure Kyron's going to play g4.
Oh wow, he played d4.
I'm not sure about d4. We've been if he does play d4,
I mean,
that surprises me.
I mean, could it be that he's just trying to diffuse that queen side because he still played g4?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it does well, I guess Elliot might have had the idea of playing d4 himself after b5, and so that's a good point. I think, and so Kyron plays d4 to stop Elliott from playing d4. But this actually helps black on the queen side, white playing d4. So now white is definitely, I'm sure, going to play g4. And then, black is going to try to find a way to deal with the, king side attack, which white can sort of help with knight g3 after the pawn goes to g4. I mean, white's really kind of pushed the envelope here as well, rather than playing it safe somehow on the queen side.
So Fiery Griffin thinks that d4 is actually a nice move because it stops black from playing d4 and then knight d5.
Right, yeah, that's what I said, because b5 sort of set up the idea of black playing d4. But on the other hand, if black can trade queens, he's going to have a really nice endgame here, a very nice endgame.
All right, so check this out. This is that game we were looking at. I don't know if there's any more magic left here.
Yikes. Threat is mate in 1. Black goes back to defend. I mean, there's always hope, with the, especially with the 2 rooks. Who knows? I'd rather be white, but...
Right. Here's one instance that you probably would rather not be white. It looks like he's defended fairly well, though, Stuart Katz against Eric Lee. Stuart running low on time, though.
Internet issue here for internet issue for Paul here.
For Pablo. So Paul will come back on shortly, have a momentary disruption. In the meantime...
Yeah, I have stable internet.
Let me go back to the top board in the meantime so viewers can check that out.
And I'm reloading my Twitch page. I had to.
And Kyron actually played h3 instead of playing g4.
All right, so he wants, So he wants to be able to play g4 and take back with the pawn, and then maybe transfer the attack on the h file. And Elliott comes full speed ahead with b4.
Wow.
So Elliott wants to take on c3 and then play rook b8.
And here it is. So we'll stay on this game because it looks like...
classic kingside attack versus queenside attack here.
And Fiery Griffin does not like that. He thinks it's too slow compared to what's going on the king side.
So if Elliott takes on g4, white takes back with the pawn, and then I assume plays f5 quickly, and then knight f4, or rook f1 and knight and f5. Both players are just digging their heels in here.
And one of the things about online chess is that one of the things that it reveals to a lot of people is they need to practice their time management. Because what happened here for Borovsky in this position, where he managed to trade down the rooks, is white lost this game in this position because they ran out of time.
Oh, no.
So, there is a 2-second increment. So a lesson for players.
Should have been able to make a move.
You got to make a move and because it's tempting to calculate, but Siva Kumar stole the game here. So congrats to him for trying to keep it, complex and...
Yeah, I mean, black did what black had to do, which was just hang in there and hope something great happened.
Was hanging around.
Barry Griffin pointed out that b takes a4 and rook b8 was probably a little bit faster, and I think he's right. So Elliot, Chiron's taken on f5. Elliot's taken back with the e pawn, and
Elliot,
and that's so. The things that Chiron's thinking about are knight g3 and knight to h5, or doubling rooks and then playing knight takes h7. There's some threats here for white, but he has to be able to organize it in the right way.
Yeah, and Elliot's dealing with 1:45 on his clock.
Yeah.
Eric Lee got the win against Stuart Katz.
Yeah, that was kind of going to happen, I think, there.
So Eric Lee will finish with 4.5. 4.5.
Okay. Maybe third place? No, probably not.
It could be a tie for third.
Okay.
Depending on how things play out, yeah.
So Chiron, here he comes. Rook g2. The idea, I think, is to that protects the knight prophylactically, to protects the knight at e2, and also probably prepares knight g3 and knight h5.
And Chiron blitzing out moves here. I think he's trying to put some time pressure on Elliot to make a decision.
Yeah, and now the idea is knight g3 and knight h5.
I mean, isn't a threat here knight takes h7? Now that the rooks are loaded up?
Yeah, actually, that's right. That's correct. So maybe knight e7 was a move possible there to defend g6. Elliot comes up with king h8. Was there anything particularly bad about that move, or is it maybe just a really good move?
It looks all right.
I think Black will be happy to trade rooks if White plays knight g3, and White's trying to find a way in here. You know, instinct says that this was the sort of the correct plan for White, but he still has to kind of find the way in here. Well, one move possible maybe is knight e6. Knight e6, rook takes g6.
Knight e6.
That's the kind of crazy stuff that you're thinking of here. Knight f3 threatens rook takes g6. And then also then possibly, White plays knight g3, but I think Black is happy to exchange rooks, I think. And this would be ironic if Black lost on the queen side at some point with rook b2 and rook b6, or rook b2 and rook b7. What is the threat? All right.
This
Elliot, bring in the knight to e6. Again, could White actually switch over to the queen side with rook b2? That would be completely
a nice
ironic.
file.
That would be very ironic if that was the move here. It certainly looks like a possibility.
And we're going to stay on this game because the winner of this game wins the tournament.
Yeah. I think b takes a4 and rook b8 was better. Look at this. White is actually
and Elliot with
better on the queen side now, which has just been a sort of yeah, Elliot, maybe knight d8 was the wrong move here. This is trouble now for Black for sure. Can White trade and play rook b6?
I think Chiron sees exactly what he's...
Rook b6, and now Black might be able to get some major counterplay here if you can defend the knight and then play rook b8. Well, I'm not, actually that's not true. Queen f6 check. It looks to me like black's on the ropes here. Fiery Griffin is pointing out g5. Yeah, maybe that would have been a good move, or as coming up.
E6, but Elliot under a lot of pressure with the time.
Yeah, but g5 is a great shot.
Rook,
maybe.
Yeah.
But this is just knight g7, rook g6. Yikes! Elliot's in trouble here.
Can't you take on f5? Because then you'll take the knight.
Yes, that's got to be the idea here, or knight h5 maybe.
But you can play it now, right? Knight takes knight takes f5.
That's what he's going to play probably.
No, plays rook d6. You can still play it. Still play knight takes f5.
Yeah, rook d6 is strong.
Actually, it's even stronger now.
But this is horrible. I mean, let's face it.
And Elliot with 3 seconds.
Yeah, this is just the kind of thing you don't want. A passive position, white's pieces infiltrating.
And congratulations to Caesar Tamandong, who won his game. He found a way out of that trouble he was in against Barbara Goodkind. He's in the chat, so congratulations on that win.
Yeah.
We thought you were toast, but good
The
thing
Burlingame Chess Club quads.
Yeah, the Burlingame quads back in the day. And
So-
Kyron being a true pro here in taking his time, and Elliot's got 3 seconds left, and he wants to make sure that everything is in order.
Knight f5, gf5, rook e6, queen somewhere. I mean, maybe the queen can slip back, queen a3. It doesn't look like it should work, but maybe black can try to get back behind for a perpetual check. I don't think it's going to work.
There's got to be something he's looking at because, and it was played. Knight takes f5.
I'm a little behind here. Actually, I'm a lot behind. Queen f7. Now rook e6 is possible. Then queen f5.
Oh, yeah.
Black starts to get in. Elliot's being resourceful.
And Rui won her game against Michael Lum.
The problem is any endgame is a win here for white too.
Whoops. Sorry. Get back to that game.
So, even knight e3, queen f4. Yeah, this is going to be a winning endgame. Okay. So now queen f4, knight f4, knight takes d5. But black plays rook b8. Going for, but now pawn f5. Yikes. Black is really in trouble here.
Just everything is coming at you now. Now can you just play e6 and then rook d7?
There's a couple of cheapos here. F takes g6, rook b1, king h2, queen f2 check. Obviously, white's winning here, but needs to just be super accurate. The black rook is going to come down with a check or two. So rook f6, better move, Elliot. He does. Now the black queen is no danger, so white can just take on g6. And that's what happens. White king can just come up.
Don't you guys want there's no knight check or something? Yeah, but I guess it doesn't matter here.
Yeah.
And that is it. Congratulations to Kyron Griffith.
Yeah. He was the better chess player in this game. I've got to say that. And also, there's a subtle point there about the prospects that both players had in that game. I think the kingside attack is usually sort of the more compelling side, the side that you want to be on in those kind of situations, I think.
Right, going after the king versus the space.
Yeah. Elliot might have found a way to try to keep the center open, and also maybe miss b8 for some small mistakes, I think. Nothing major.
And what we're watching here is board 2 between Pranav Siram as white against Ashik Uzuman.
Yeah, congratulations, Kyron.
Kyron Griffith, 6-0. Absolutely amazing performance against some tough competition.
This is 3 passed pawns versus 3 passed pawns. What did bishop d5 do except for just encourage white to push his pawn up? Not sure. White gains another tempo. White's up the exchange as well. So, yeah, bishop d5 was not well thought out, I think. Six and 0. That's a tough. And okay, so white just jettisons the h pawn, and this pawn, passed pawn, is probably going to cost black a piece. Looks like white could have,
And Kyron getting all the well-deserved praise in the chat.
Kyron is 14 rabbits, huh?
14 rabbits. We're going to have to get to the bottom of that one.
Get a piece here. Black is down to seconds on the time. Knight c7 check is going to force a queen pretty cleanly.
Yes.
White could take with the rook and queen, a pawn in 2 moves, or he could take with the pawn and allow black to sack his bishop, which is not going to help black either.
At all, yeah.
Because white...
it's just going to queen that.
Yeah. That was a cool move, king f2.
Yeah, that'll tell the tale right here.
Ashik overplayed his hand here.
So congrats to Pranav. It looks like he will get to 5 also. And
Daniel Perlov wants to see the...
Yeah, so he's wanting to see this game with Ramachita and Martin Camacho.
Oh, yeah, Ramachita, my student.
And it looks like Rama is up right now. But there's some attacking.
Oh my goodness, this is very difficult.
And this is with less than a minute for each player, so this is actually an exciting. It's probably one of the final games here.
Black might have to take a draw. Well, and there's another game, says Daniel.
Yeah, and actually, there is one other game, and that's not one I can pull up because I don't have the username readily available.
This game might be a draw. If queen moves away and then rook back to e7 threatens. Oh, that's right. The knight was hanging on g4. What am I talking about?
Right.
Yikes! White's winning now. A rook in 2 pieces versus a queen. It's the evening's getting old here. I'm missing a knight on g4 hanging.
So Kyron is saying that his that username is loosely named after the Mayan ruler 18 Rabbit.
Well, so, that's kind of an interesting backstory, if you ask me.
Kyron humbled himself to 14 Rabbit instead of 18 Rabbit.
Is that some kind of Mayan calendar thing?
Well, I'm gonna have to look it up now because now I'm curious.
Well, rookie 7, White's just winning this, I think, without
still, yeah.
Every except for he's running himself out of time here. You can also play Rook G7 and Rook E7.
So now here's where these new players they have to instantly move.
I'm not sure.
And Rama got caught analyzing and ran out of time.
You're joking.
Yep. He ran out of time.
Oh, well, his position is lost anyway.
It's lost, but you got to make the move. And that favors Daniel Perlov, who's watching this game, because Camacho was less in points. Martin Camacho had 2.5, so now he has 3.5. Rama stays at 3.5. Perlov got the win, so he is at 4.5. So we're waiting on the Mohan Pradeep game, and I'm going to see if Judith has that result. So I don't know if she's watching, and that could be the last game of the round. Oh, it's actually up.
Daniel Perlov says the URL is actually up. So is the tournament over?
White is winning mate in 2. So Shankara Mohan is gonna win his game according to Mr. Perlov. So it looks like Shankara Mohan and Daniel Perlov will share first in the under 1600 section. Congratulations to them. The final standings will come out a little bit later. All games are done. And we will have the final standings shortly. I don't know how fast. I know Judith is in transit somewhere, but I think she has the capability of updating, so we'll have to wait and see. But I think she's going to start doing this. Yeah, she's going to post the final standing soon. So the Tuesday night marathon is a wrap, and Kyron Griffith is the sole winner in the championship section, going undefeated 6-0, and beating.
Was there anybody even with 5 points?
Yeah,
there was a 5-pointer.
Yeah, so it looks like Pranav Sairam and Tejas Mahesh are going to finish with 5. So they will take second and third. And I feel bad for Elliot because he had such an amazing event, but just by virtue of him losing that final round, I think he's going to miss out on the prize, because we had a first, a second, and then the under prizes. So we'll see. So that's kind of unfortunate for Elliot, because he got 4.5 because he drew with Eric and then lost to Kyron, and it opened the door for.
He's used to winning some and losing some.
Yeah, he's had a lot of that going on. So tough games, exciting games.
Great player.
A well-deserved winner in Kyron Griffith, and well-deserved winners in the under 1600. Congrats, Daniel Perlov and Sankara Mohan. And tough for Ramachita. Tough because I think this game would be a great game for you to analyze because the position looked tough. And just while we're here and we're at the end, we will be updating soon the final standings. The final standings. Judith's saying it's posted, so go take a look. The final standings are posted, and I'm actually taking a look at it myself. And it is Kyron Griffith with 6, 2 players with 5, Pranav Sairam and Tejas Mahesh. Elliot Winslow and Eric Lee with 4.5, and then a lot of players with 4. And then in the under 1600, it is Shankara Mohan and Daniel Perlov splitting with 4.5, tying for first.
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, and Pranav, Pradeep, Martin Camacho, and Raheem Darcy with 3.5 points. that is the Tuesday night marathon, and we will be running the games before we do the final standings through fair play. The fair play works. It has worked in this tournament. It is nice for us to have two eyes on it with chess.com and Dr. Ken Reagan. And, let's just say it's really a plus for us to have Dr. Ken Reagan helping us. He helped us in this tournament. And so at least in this event, the process worked, and we're glad we were able to have a successful TNM. I thought it was exciting, and I hope the players thought so too.
Congratulations to you and Judith as well, Abel.
Yeah, super props to Judith, who is entering all the results, pairing all the games. Having the ability to do that made the tournament even more exciting. Felt like an over-the-board tournament in that respect. So thank you, Judith, for everything. Thank you, Paul, for doing the commentary. And announcements before we sign out. Next Tuesday, Mechanics Players Appreciation Tuesday night tournament. We're going to do a 7-round blitz, totally free. You just have to have a valid USCF membership. And we'll be giving out some prizes. We'll be giving out free entries to the next TNM, which starts August 4th. So stay tuned for that. And one last shout out. I mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. The Mechanics chess team that played in the chess.com league. We finished 9th place overall out of 61 teams with some of the clubs from all over the world. So the team played we played teams from Brazil, Paraguay, Argentina, Toronto. We played Iowa, Pittsburgh, Arizona here. So I consider us
like baseball.
Yeah, I consider us ranked 9th in the world in terms of our team, of which Kyron was a part of, and a lot of other people. So tentative final standings are posted. So check out the link. I put it in there. Any final thoughts?
Great tournament, and there were some spectacular games in this tournament.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was funny how the 5th round, was kind of the fireworks round. Where we saw a lot of action because people are trying to mix it up. Try to move up the ladder. But that was a great final game between Elliot and Kyron. Just the technical aspects of trying to gain advantage,
Elliot lost it through some very small mistakes, subtle stuff. Yeah, both players were trying to prove a point, and Kyron was able to prove his point.
And the last shameless plug is this Sunday we have a USCF online rated tournament. If you want some chess action on Sunday, it's a rapid. Check it out. You'll hear it from us because we'll send messages about it. But until all that, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Paul, for the great commentary. Everybody. Thank you, players, for kind of being a part of this whole experience. And thank you to our tournament director, Judith, who does an amazing job as always. I hope she gets some good rest tonight, enjoys the day tomorrow. Thank you everyone for being a part of the Mechanics experience. It's a lot of fun for us to do it, and it fills us up to see everyone be a part of this. Daniel Perlov needs to know when the cash is coming out. We'll update the prize fund tomorrow because it's not as it was posted because we had more entries. So we will post that all tomorrow. It'll be sent by mail, and so it'll be standard mail. You'll get it, and then that's it. All right, so thank you, everyone. We're signing off.
Good night.
Good night, everyone, and thank you for watching us.
See you next Tuesday.
We will be here next Tuesday.